What's up, YouTube? It's the Console Samurai with Grown Ups Gaming. And when Sony and Squaresoft came out last month at E3, and they both announced that there was going to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake, a lot of people were very excited. And shortly after that, they came out and they said that, well, it is going to be a remake, but we're going to make some changes. We're going to update a few things here and there. It's not going to be exactly the same game, but it's going to be very much the same game. And I think that makes sense because the game is almost 20 years old. There are definitely some things that with the amount of time that has passed and the amount of technology or technological advancement we have now, that absolutely makes sense to update, absolutely can be updated. But there are some things that absolutely should not be updated. They shouldn't be changed. You know, there were a lot of limitations. The world map that we had in Final Fantasy VII didn't have enemies on it. But I think that's one thing we can add. Something that's more to scale, where you're running around the open world, the world map, and you can actually see the enemies on the map this time. That makes sense to me. And of course, if you engage them in battle, it does go into the same battle screen that we're familiar with, well, all the Final Fantasy games, other than the 2 MMOs and 12. I think that makes sense because we do have the technology to do it now, and I have no problem with adding or getting rid of the random encounters. I still do want the whole turn-based thing where everybody lines up and all that stuff. And I know a lot of people say that, well, turn-based is outdated. Turn-based comes from a time when we didn't have the technology to do all this. We didn't have. It's true. It does. Its history is from when we didn't have the ability, but it's still a very functional system, regardless of what those people say. And with Final Fantasy VII, and it's going to be a remake, if you change the battle system, you change the game, and it's no longer a remake. Because the battle system was so much a part of why people loved Final Fantasy VII. If it's taken away, it's a bad, it's gone. It's ruined. Because there were so many intricacies with the battle system, with the materia, and there was battles that required certain different conditions. Like there was a couple battles where you had to have status affliction on you to do the battle, to actually survive it, and those were optional battles. So I don't think everyone got to experience them, but it's those intricacies that are really good, and they're what made people fall in love with Final Fantasy, not just the story. But the story itself, I think, can use a little bit of polishing. No, not really changes, but they can expand, because there were, let's be honest, there were plot holes in Final Fantasy VII, but they can come back and they can fill those in. They can expand the story, add a little bit here and there. They can add a little bit more of the history of Zack, and there are so many things they can do with this story just to flesh it out more. And they can add more. They can add more side quests. They can add more stuff at the Gold Saucer. Excuse me. They can add more stuff at the Golden Saucer. They can add more weapons. The ultimate weapons like Ruby Weapon, Emerald Weapon, Ultimate Weapon. They can add a bunch more of those. They have plenty of room. They could add more. They could. But tell me what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that there should be any changes to Final Fantasy VII's remake? If so, what kind of changes do you think would be good? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around.